Pulled up. Greetings, brother.
Oh,
Yo, fam. We're going into a mental health segment, but we talked about
yeah.
dispensary, and we got to hear from you, man. So we're going to get back to you, but I have to turn it over to Margo Thompson, who is going to facilitate this next segment. So let me just welcome everyone to this historical day. It is the day of Afya. A brother asked, "What does Afya stand for?" It is Swahili for health, and so in the spirit of Kwanzaa. We are channeling all seven principles that we just studied and celebrated, and we are now applying it towards a path. So from principles to path, we are now on a health path, a healthy path, and we have collected an international group of experts who can speak on the various subject matters and topics. And right now, on behalf of the Canadian Kwanzaa Association, we get to go right to one of our beloved queens in Canada, who's going to be able to speak to us about mental health. She has a slide that she's going to share with us. So without further ado, please, as we address mental health in our communities on this day of Afia, I'd like you to just give a warmer welcome to Sister Margo Thompson, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Expert is a strong word, but I'm definitely here to talk
And
about
listen,
mental
and you
health.
know what? So is genius. But if you look at the
There you
definition of
go.
a genius, no. But if you look at the definition of genius, it's like it's basically someone using 1% more of their brain, like someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not. Listen, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just a little extra.
There you
So
go.
you embrace that and be
Thank
that because
you.
that's how we see it.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm gonna try and share my screen. If I don't get to, then that's fine. I'm gonna try and really just a few slides to make, I guess, me talking not so mundane, right? So let me see if I can get this right. Mm, let's see. A window, maybe. There we go. Got it. All right.
Nice. Go ahead, Google Meets.
There we go. This is just me. This is the teacher in me. So this is what this is where the presentation came from. So the issue now though is that I can't see you all. So let me see. I don't think I'm going to be able to do both. So my apologies in advance. I'm not going to be able to see. So if any questions come in, I'll just get to it right after. So I'm just going to push through and then we can talk after, okay?
Ashe.
Okay, so let me go back to this. All right. So mental health in the Black community. So as do it. Thank you for the introduction. I am from Canada, close to Toronto. So I was kind of laughing about the fact that there's dispensaries on every corner because you ain't lying. And so there's a little bit about me. I am born in Jamaica. I was there. I left when I was very young, but either way, I'm a second generation immigrant. I've been married for 15 years. I'm a mother of five children, ranging. My youngest is 7, my eldest is 21. And my educational background, the ladies that were talking before me, I resonated with a lot of them. I think Giselle said she has a background in social work as well. And I'm also a Christian, so I have that background as well. And so, I mean, DeWitt reached out to me to kind of ask, can I participate and be a part of this? And I thought it was great because I mean, a day of health, a day of Afia. I'm not Swahilian, but I do resonate with the whole purpose that is behind this. And so I definitely wanted to be a part of it. And so I do only have a few minutes, but I am going to go through and get some questions after. Okay, so mental health. So basically, how mental health has kind of resonated with me over the past. I've been in social work for going on 16 years now, and so the way mental health has shown up for me professionally is just basically any interaction that I'm having, people in general. But I've noticed, especially for the Black community, because as a member of the Black community, it's going to kind of be in your face, right? So apart from professionally, I mean, growing up a certain way, mental health has always been like this stigma, this unspoken thing that no one really talks about, but everyone is kind of struggling with in one way or the other. So the stigma ends up being like, as Black people, we're tough, we're resilient, we don't have these mental health issues. It's a white thing. People don't like Black people don't do that type of stuff. I know, sorry, I can't remember the names, but someone even mentioned like, talking to someone and they're saying, going through the feeling of can I even trust this person? How much can I tell them? Et cetera, et cetera. So the stigma of reaching out when you're struggling, and reaching out when you're struggling with mental health issues, especially because when you break your arm or your leg, it's easy for you to say, I have a problem, right? But if you're struggling with anxiety, getting out of bed, cleaning your house, showering, that type of stuff, or even just struggling with addictions, etc., it's usually a little bit harder to reach out for help. And within the Black community, I found, because I mean, I can only speak to my community, but asking for help can be seen as a sign of weakness, especially when it comes to mental health, right? And so these slides are very general. Of course, I'm missing a lot of different things, but I wanted to just kind of give you a picture so that we at least have something to talk about, right? Okay, so the crisis, and for those of you who are in the helping professions or even just working within the social justice, realm, you've heard about adverse childhood experiences as well as social determinants of health. And so I wanted to put these out. I wanted to include these in the slides, and this is why I did slides, because I didn't want to have to talk them through and then you miss them. So I wanted to include them to show that in general, people are going to go through things, right? Whether it's your childhood or even as you get older. But where the crisis comes in, especially for the Black community, is that based on systemic history, culture, just a whole bunch of different things, we experience adverse childhood experiences and experience social determinants of health at higher levels, right? So I mean, I guess pretty much everyone on the call identifies with the Black community. So even reading some of these things, they might resonate with you or stand out to you in the sense that, yeah, I grew up like this, or I experienced these things. So adverse childhood experiences, the list is here: physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical neglect, emotional neglect, living with a parent who's an alcoholic, living with, it says mother here, but I mean domestic violence can be towards both parents, but primarily, especially single mothers within our community, living with a victim of domestic violence, having a family member in jail, having a family member diagnosed with a mental health issue, so something like a caregiver, experiencing divorce or separation of parents, which is, very common in the Black community as well, and traumatic loss of a loved one. So that kind of, ties in with, say, gun violence. I mean, even those like cancers and stuff, like it's not as, it might not be immediate, but it's still a traumatic loss, right? And so where adverse childhood experiences come in when it comes to the Black community is that okay, so let me put it out there first. Everyone experiences adverse childhood experiences in one way or the other. Where it stands out for the Black community is that our numbers tend to be higher, right? And what you're going to find, and I'll talk about in the next slide, is that the higher the adverse childhood experiences that you've had, like the number of them, is the higher the chances are that you're going to have some consequences as you get older. And we'll talk about that in the next slide. So the 12 social determinants of health, basically it is how you are in your environment, for lack of better words, right? So these determinants can determine the health and what kind of health you're going to feel within your body, just in your environment, within your family, etc., based on these things. So your income and social status, this is a determinant because based on your income, that will determine where you live, what you eat, all these different things, right? So education and literacy, if you were able to go on to post-secondary education, then you're able to get a different type of job, again, affecting income and all these different things. Talk about social environments, physical environments. So in other words, all of these different things and how they impact you, and then how that gets to your, it plays on your mental health. And so here are some of the consequences for, if you've gone through a good number of adverse childhood experiences and your social determinants of health are not, on the healthier side of the spectrum. The consequences, intended and unintended, direct and indirect, is that, you'll find relationship issues. So these are things that are prevalent within the Black community, right? And again, it's not to say other communities don't experience these things, but as we are speaking about different things, we're finding and we're talking about how, no, there's certain things that are definitely prevalent for the Black community more than others, right? And so we have relationship issues, mental health issues, physical health issues, self-esteem issues, financial issues, disregarding dreams, poor decisions, addictions, rejection of the system, and one of the biggest ones is generational impact. How does this cross generational, like how do we continue in these patterns? And so the solution that we don't normally draw for, because it is the stigma of it, is that we need help, right? Like that's the long and short of it. I love the fact that I came after talking about the teas and cannabis, etc., because the thing about it is that yes, there are medications that are there and available for anti-anxiety, anti-depression, all of these different things. However, they're not getting to the root of the issue, right? And so the solution for the most part is acknowledging that a change is needed. And as a member of the Black community, we're all on here talking. We're talking about the Day of Health, and it's an acknowledgement that we need help. Like we are not doing well mentally, physically, financially, all of these different things, right? And a lot of it is historical, a lot of it is generational, a lot of it is just systemic. Like it is, there's so many things just oppressed from the day we're born, right? But at the same time, because these changes are needed, we might not be able to address it on a large scale right away, but we can do things within our family, we can do things within our home, we can do things in our own intimate relationships. And that's how we create a plan for change. We create new blueprints. We challenge ourselves to do better and be better every day. And again, that stigma, but meeting with a professional, somebody who's able for you to kind of help you sift through all of those different adverse childhood experiences, all of those different social determinants of health. When you get that help, meeting with a professional, whether it's through counseling, talk therapy, psychotherapy, group, whatever you want to call it, just the ability to unload what it is that you've experienced, your parents have experienced, our ancestors have experienced, then you're able to kind of move in the direction that you want to go in. Because at this point, I agree, like we're at a standstill. Yes, we are thriving and striving in different directions, but we're behind, right? And so a lot of it does, to me, like working in the field of social work, most of my experiences in child welfare. So I've seen, the disproportionate amount of children in care. I've seen how families are targeted. All of these different things got to the point that I wasn't able to be a part of that system anymore. And so moving now into teaching and also doing counseling and psychotherapy. And so I will put it in the link as well. I do offer free 30-minute consultations because I think it gives, especially my people in the Black community, an opportunity to test me out, right? And see, if we're a good fit, to see if I can be trusted and see if I can, really help. And so I do offer that. And I found that it has been beneficial because it has to be worth it, right? Like you're gonna have to pay for it. I know that there's that thing, like it can be, expensive and it can be pricey, but it's almost like pay now or pay later type thing, or suffer now, suffer later. It's a matter of where you are going to put your investment, where are you going to put your money to get better, to go towards in the direction that you want to go, or kind of continue in the same path or the same kind of pattern. So that is my quick kind of rundown of mental health and what I do, why mental health is so important within the Black community. So I am available for a few questions. I do got to log off soon, but I am thankful for the opportunity to share all of this. A lot of information. I will make the presentation available, and I can put my information in the chat as well.
Okay. I maybe first to thank you for that. That very thorough. And actually, if your slide, you took your slide down, but there was something on your last. There was something on your last slide I just wanted to address.
Okay, let me see.
I wanted everyone to add this to their affirmations. This morning we practiced breathing and we practiced adding to our affirmations, and there was something on there to create a plan for change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want us all to leave here on this day of Afya, this day of health, is to say, how are you going to change your health? Pick one area to change your health. We're talking about physical, we're talking about spiritual, we're talking about emotional. Pick one place. You can't do it all at once, right? But pick one. Create a plan for change, a tangible and create a new blueprint of how you spend your day. This is the second day of 2022, and I listen. Yesterday I had a great start of my day. Today I slid back to all my old habits. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Within one day, and not all my bad habits, but just not praying, not taking time to, not my hot water and lemon. Like in one day, I just completely forgot everything that I planned on doing differently. So we have to write a blueprint, And we call it a black print because we Garveyites.
There you go.
But nevertheless, I wanted them to create their own black print on how they're going to lead their change. We talked about the 7 principles, and now we want 7 paths. And this is health, and this is a path. And then to add to our affirmation, she put on there, challenge yourself to do better and be better every day. You are your only competition. The only competition that you need to be, and this is mental problem. This is part of our mental problems, right? Because we see the world around us, we see how fast the world is moving, and you know what? We become impulsive because
we're reacting to the world as opposed
we're
to just getting
reacting.
grounded in
That's
who we
right.
are.
That's right. But if you have your black print, you know you're following the plan, you're trusting the process, right? And your only competition is being better than you were yesterday. That is the only pressure that you have to deal with every day, is that how do I become better tomorrow?
Right.
And that's as a father, as a person, as a member of all your circles. So now I put a link in the page, and I guess it already got posted there.
Yes, I put my links in there too, just in case.
So
and
what
then,
we want to do, so you said challenge me. I'll give you 30 minutes because I want to be challenged. So because I want to prove that it works, and I want to prove that we work, that this Afya Online Institute and all that we're doing is working. So everyone who's on here, click the link before this event ends. Before you leave this Zoom, click the link and book something. All right? Make that one part of your steps to your plan of change. My plan of change is I'm going to speak to the sister for 30 minutes, and I'm going to let her assess me and figure out what, and help me however much she can help me in 30 minutes. Because sometimes just talking to someone makes a difference, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, mental health it's suicidal. It's mental health. And look, I'm glad. Look, the people who are out there who are racist and don't like us because of our melanin, they need some mental health. Like this, it's either mental health or it's demonic. One of the two. They need a preacher or they need a psychotherapist. One of the two. They need somebody that starts with a P. So but look, we got to take care of ourselves. We say race first at the very beginning of this, right? So if we take care of ourselves, we can
take care of each other. Yeah. So thank you very much. And I am going to run, but I did want to mention, I put another link in there. Let me stop presenting here. I put another link in there. It's something that I'm starting actually this Thursday. It's called Girl Talk, Real Talk. And I wanted to start this, and I'm actually committing to like 52 weeks, basically the whole of 2022, to basically meet with ladies, like young ladies, older ladies, ladies my age, middle-aged ladies, doesn't matter. And it's basically a space where we'll be able to connect every Thursday for like an hour or so and just basically just talk about stuff, right? And it's free, right? It's not doesn't have a rate or anything like that, but it's just an opportunity and a place and a space and it's not limited to women of color, it's just women in general, to be able to come and meet and talk and really just get some things out there in terms of what's wrong with our relationships, why things aren't working, why is it that we're looking out and things aren't being able to really solidify for us. We see things, but it's like it's not coming for us or whatever. So I just put that link in there as well. It's the last one, and again, for women, 52 weeks. I'm going to be meeting every Thursday, and so all you have to do is register and meet up with us.
Wow.
Let me know if it's anything I can do to help. I'm a relationships counselor, and I would love to dedicate my time.
Nice. Okay, good. Thank you. Can I get because I took down Giselle's Instagram, but can I get, and I don't know, maybe Dwight, you're gonna
well, yes,
share them all.
If you go to Linktree/Day of Afya, all of our facilitators and moderators links are there.
Perfect.
And I've been tagging everyone on all the Instagrams. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please go to Day of Afya on Instagram or Kwanzaa Canada Instagram. And every time we post any of our segments, we make sure all your links are available. So and she's sharing some information right there as well. So I know you got to run.
Yeah, I got to run.
Byron, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And this is awesome. So invite me again, okay? If anything else is coming, invite me again. This is good.
Sure.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Greetings. Peace. All right. So, you know what? We are going. There's a little bit of time. We are shifting now into our workout part. Now, mental health. I tell you what. If you want to really address your mental health, and obviously all of this is critical and very important, but there's nothing like getting in the gym and punching something, like just good old. And you ain't even got to get in the gym, right? But to get in there running and lifting weights and just, it's just, that's something for the fellas, man. Like for real. Like, because we built to yell and we don't, and we live in a society that, listen, if you go to a store and you a little upset because somebody overcharged you something, they're like, please lower your voice. It's like, I wasn't even yelling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like they tame the lion, bro. right? We live in a world where they tame the lion. We can't even, you know what I mean? They tamed our hairstyles. They tamed our voices. And the bigger you are, the lower you have to speak. Like I've learned the art that I actually have to like depending on who I'm talking to, I have to adjust how I speak. So that's taming of the lion. And you know what? We got to get into a space where we can roar. And you know what? And I tell you, it's nothing like it in the world, man. So we are going to be transitioning to the next segment, which is workouts at home. Because like I said, we need pandemic proof solutions for our workout and for these things that are critical to our mental health and our physical strength. So we're going to hear from 6-time boxing champion, right? I'm talking about one of the greatest fighters to ever walk into a ring, like hands down. I mean, he's recognized in Canada as being the oldest champion ever, right? So, I mean, the man took like 10 years off of boxing, had 5 belts. Listen, he had 5 belts and was like, I ain't got enough. Okay. He's Tom Brady of boxing, y'all. He said, I ain't got enough. I need one more. So 6-time boxing champion. He's going to show it. And he's at home right now. You see him in the window flexing, hard body, man. Oh, no, she didn't just leave. I was about to bring her on. So I'm going to try to get her back on the line. But if I can just, I'm going to end this. And then we are going to yoga at home. We're going to do some yoga at home with the kids. We're going with Kendra Yoga Center. So we're going to have the kids on board. And we're going to show you how to do this as a family because we need to have good, healthy habits. And think about children growing up saying, you know, I remember doing yoga with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them those kind. See, you know that, Sharice. So we got to give them like these memories of ways that we try to give them things that will prepare them for the future. And if we're not doing it, most likely they're not going to do it because they do what they see, right? And so we're going to demonstrate how to do these things at home. So I'm just going to just end this meeting, and then we're going to start the next segment. So please give me a moment as I stop recording.